Hello, this is Sonia here from The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. Today is another Wednesday, and that means the Stitch of the Week. And today we are going to be doing another cluster stitch pattern. I know I have a couple on there, but there's just so many different variations and fun things you can do with cluster stitches. So I thought we would do another one, and I think this one is really pretty. I'm actually really excited to make some projects out of it. So today, to do this stitch, I am using an eye hook or a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I'm going to be using some worsted weight yarn. And the reason why I use worsted weight is because I have a lot of it. I know in other countries worsted weight is not as readily available, but here in the US it seems to be the go-to yarn for us. So to do this stitch pattern, what you're going to need to do is work a chain of 4. So anything times 4, a multiple of 4. So today I think we'll chain 16. Alright, so we have our 16 chains. We are ready to go. So this first row is the setup row. So you won't be doing the same exact row again. We're just getting set up, so it's like the foundation, and then the rows after that will be the repeating rows. So to start off this row, you're going to yarn over, and we are going to work in the 4th chain from our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and however you want to work in the chain. So I'm putting my hook in the chain, and I'm going to pull up a loop. So I have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to yarn over again, and we're going to go into the next chain. So there's going to be a lot of yarn overs, and we're pulling up a loop in this stitch pattern. But once you get going, it's really not difficult. So yarning over, pulling through 2 of those guys, and we have 3 loops, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those guys. So we've created a little cluster. So now we are going to chain 3. And now we're going to work in this chain 3. So yarning over, working in the 3rd chain from the hook, pull up our loop. So we've got our 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, and we're going right back in that same chain that we just made, pulling up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops. We're going to finish that guy off by another yarn over. You're going to get sick of hearing it, and pulling through all 3 of those guys. So now we're going to go back and work in this chain here. So we're yarning over. So before you begin each stitch, you will do a yarn over, so just keep that in mind. So we've got we're yarned over there. We're going to go into the next chain. Whoops, yeah we are. And pull up a loop. So we've got our 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over again, right back into the next chain. So we're going to work in 4 chains now. So yarn over, pull through 2. 3 chains, yarn over, going to go back into the next chain. This is the 3rd one. Yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 4 loops in our hook. So you can see we've worked in 3, 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to go work into the 4th chain. So put our hook in there, pull up our loop. So we have 6 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have the 5, and we're going to finish off by pulling through all 5 of those guys. There we go. So now we've completed, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've worked. So now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to repeat what we did right here. So 1, 2, 3, yarn over, work in that 3rd chain from our hook, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, right back in that chain, pull through 2. So we have our 3 loops, pull through those final 3. So now we're back in the chain again. We're going to repeat what we did right here. We're working across 4. So yarn over, right in that next chain, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we're in the 2nd chain. We have 3 loops in our hook. So now we have 4, we worked in the 3rd chain. So our 5 loops, yarn over, pull through all 5. So now we're going to repeat this. So 1, 2, 3. Work in the 3rd chain from our hook. So now we have our final 3 loops, yarning over, pull through all 3 of those guys. So now we have 3 chains left. So we are going to work in the last 3 we've yarned over. And we're just going to do the same thing as we did here with the 4, but we're doing the 3. So there's the 1st chain, 2nd chain, 3rd chain. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to pull through all 4 of those loops. So row 1 is complete, our setup row. So as you can see, it looks pretty cool, I think, all those cluster stitches. Alright, so now we're going to get ready for row 2. So we're going to chain 3, and it will count as a stitch. So this counts as a double crochet we're turning. So that's a stitch, and you're going to work 2 double crochet right in this same stitch. So you can kind of see right here where you can work. So there's our 2nd double crochet, or well, technically it's, yeah, 2nd double. So this is the 1st, this is the 2nd. We're going to have 3 here on to start this row. So on this end here, so we have our 3 double crochet. So now we are going to skip this cluster here, and we're going to work here in this, it looks a 4-stitch cluster there. We're going to work 4 double crochet right in there. So this is a really simple row, actually. It will go very quickly, I would think. So I'm just popping in 4 double crochet. So now we are going to work 4 double crochet again. So you're going to skip this guy, and each of these you're going to work 4 double crochet. And you will do that all the way to the end, and we're almost to the end, because it's just a little swatch. Okay, so now we are at the end here. So at the end, we are going to work 3 double crochet in the end because we want it to match this side here. So this chain 3 here counts as a stitch. You're going to pop in 3 double crochet in that, on top of that chain 3. And then row 2 is done. So as you can see, very simple, easy row 2. Okay, so there's row 2, all ready to go. Now we're going to do row 3. So we're going to chain 6. And now we'll turn our work. So what we're going to do is in the 3rd chain from our hook, so 1, 2, 3, we are going to do the same thing when we did the chain 3 here. This stitch here, we're going to create the same thing with the 3rd chain from our hook here. So yarn over, pull up your loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, go right back in that chain, yarn over and pull through 2. So we have our final 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. Now this chain 3 that we're not working in here, this is actually going to count as a stitch, and you'll see how it all works out. So now we're going to get ready to continue with the row. So you're going to yarn over, and we're going to work in the very next double crochet. So you're not working here, you're going to work here. You're going to pull up a loop, and we're going to yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to go back in there again. Yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. And we're going to keep going till we have 5, just like we did in the chain down here. So we have 4. So there we go. Now we have our 5 loops, pulling through all 5 of those guys. So now you can see this is how it's turning into a stitch. So now we're going to recreate this by chaining 3, working in the 3rd chain from our hook, working the little cluster here. It's like a baby cluster. Right back in our chain. 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys. So now we're yarning over. Now we're going to work across 4 double crochet again and pulling through all 5 of those loops. So they're all connected. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go right back in the next double crochet. So now we have 3 loops. So it's almost like a very large together stitch or decrease. So there's 4. So there's 5, yarn over, pull through all 5. And now we're going to recreate our little cluster. Chaining 3, and then working in the 3rd chain from our hook, the baby cluster. Yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys. So we're going to go right back in, yarn over, go in the next double crochet, pulling up our loops as we go. Until we have our 5 loops on our hook. Come on. So there's our 5, yarn over, pull through all 5 of those loops. So now we're going to chain 3 and work the little baby cluster. So the final 3, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys. Now we are going to work in this last chain 3, we're going to work a double crochet. So see, there's the double crochet here, double crochet there. Okay, so now we are ready for row 4. So to start row 4, you're going to chain 3 and turn. And what you're going to do, this is going to count as a stitch here. We are going to work 4 double crochet in this next group here, right here. So you're going to skip this little baby cluster here and work 4 double crochet right in here, just like we did for row 2. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work 4 double crochet in this one here. So this is going to be a nice easy row, just like row 2. So just think of the even rows as the easy rows or the quick rows. I don't think the other rows are necessarily hard. They just take a little bit longer because of the cluster stitches. But these are the fast rows, I guess. And we're going to work in this guy here, working our 4 double crochet. And now we're going to finish up this row, and we're just going to work 1 double crochet on top of this chain 3 right here. And then row 4 is complete. And we'll get ready to start row 5. Okay, so for row 5, we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. There we go. We're going to yarn over, and we are going to work in this next double crochet right here. So this is going to count as a stitch here. Pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over again, insert our hook in the next double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have 3 loops on our hook, and we are going to draw through all 3 of these loops. And now we're going to work the little baby cluster, so I like to call it, or mini cluster. Maybe mini cluster sounds better. So we've got our chain 3, insert your hook into that 3rd chain, draw up your loop, yarn over, pull through, come on yarn, don't split on me, 2 loops, yarn over again, right back in that chain, and yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops, yarn over, pull through the final 3. So now we have our little mini cluster. So now we're going to yarn over again, and we are going to work across the 4 double crochet like we had done down here. So insert our hook into the next double crochet, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over again, right back in the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, next double crochet, got our loops going there, pulling through the 2, and we have 1 more, so you can see 1, 2, 3, we're working in 4. So now we have our 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, draw through all 5 of those loops. So now we're going to work the little mini cluster. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, 3rd chain from our hook, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, go right back in there, pull up our loop, yarn over, draw through 2. So now we're going to yarn over, draw through all 3 of those guys. So now we're going to go back and work in our double crochets, our 4 double crochet. So there's the first one, second one, third one, and here is the 4th one here. So now we have our 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, draw through all 5 of those guys, chaining 3, and we'll work in that 3rd chain for our little mini cluster here. Come on yarn, stop being annoying. I'll have to stop reusing this yarn because it's just not working too good. Alright, so we've got our 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. So now we are going to finish up this row. We're going to yarn over, you're going to put your hook into the next double crochet here, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, oops, we're swinging around there. So we have 3 loops on our hook. And now we're going to work on top of this chain 3 right here. So you can see it right there. So that's counting as a stitch. So we're pulling up our loop there, and then we'll draw through the 2. So we have our 4 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. So when you get to the end there, you will have 3 stitches left, and then that's when you work the little mini cluster. Well, this is a mini cluster here, I guess half cluster on the ends here. So that is the end of row 5. So what you're going to do for this pattern is you will repeat rows 2 through 5 for however long you would want to make this, or whatever project you were using this stitch pattern for, and then when you were done you would want to end on either row 2 or row 4. So depending where you are in the pattern, so we just finished row 5, so then the next row would be row 2. So I'm going to do that, so we'll chain 3, turn our work, and you're going to work 2 double crochet in the same stitch here. And then you're going to work 4 double crochet here. So you'll skip your little mini cluster there and work your 4 double crochet. And we're going to do that again. We'll skip this mini cluster. Working our 4 double crochet here. And now we are at our end here, and then we're going to work 3 double crochet on top of this chain 3. So it looks like the beginning here. I made that chain quite tight. There we go. So there's 1, 2, and there is the 3rd. And then the right side would be your odd row. I just think it looks a little bit nicer on that side. So again, you would repeat rows 2 through 5 for the remainder of this pattern. And then when you are done, you will, depending where you are, so if you ended on, let's say, row 3, then you could finish on, like, if your second to your last row was row 3, then, you know, would end on a row 4. Or if you finish your second to the last row is row 5, then you would end on row 2. So I hope you enjoyed this cluster stitch pattern.